This traditional native subsistence harvest has been conducted long before the establishment by Congress of a national park, where the practice was forbidden by law. In 1980, Congress passed the Alaska Lands Act, which, among other things, provided for subsistence use of natural resources of public lands in Alaska by rural residents. The traditional harvest of seagull eggs in Glacier Bay National Park, however, remained off limits. A study conducted by the National Park Service determined the local native people should be able to resume their harvest of seagull eggs at specific locations in the park. Accordingly, I introduced H.R. 3110 to authorize the Huna Indian Association and the Secretary of Interior to develop a plan for the traditional native collection of certain gull eggs. Under H.R. 3110, the Huna Indians may harvest the eggs not more frequently than twice each calendar year, up to 5 locations within the park, subject to any terms and conditions that the Secretary determines to be necessary. On February 5, 2014, the Subcommittee on Indian and Alaska Native Affairs on the Committee of Natural Resources held a hearing on H.R. 3110, where the National Park Service testified in support of this bill. On February 27, the National Resources Committee ordered the bill reported by unanimous consent. This bill allows a group of natives in Alaska to resume an important cultural tradition and pass it on to future generations. I urge the House to pass it, and I reserve the balance of my time.
The gentleman reserves. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Oregon.
Yield myself such time as I may consume.
The gentleman's recognized.
The collection and the consumption of gull eggs is an integral part of the culture of the Tlingit people of Southeast Alaska. Eggs were certainly gathered at rookeries long before Glacier Bay National Park and the preserve was ever established. The provisions of this bill are in accord with the recommendations of a study mandated by Congress on the issue. The bill is widely supported throughout the environmental and conservation communities, as well as in the Alaska Native community. The harvesting of gull eggs would only have a minor impact on gulls, but the cultural benefits that would be realized by the Native community would be great. I certainly applaud the gentleman from Alaska for his leadership on this issue. I ask my colleagues to stand with him in support of this bill, and with that, I'd yield back the balance of my time.
The gentleman yields back. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Alaska.
Mr. Speaker, I have no other requests for speakers, so I'll yield back at this time.
The gentleman yields back. The question is, will the House suspend the rules and pass Bill H.R. 3110 as amended? Those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. In the opinion of the chair, 2/3 being in the affirmative, the rules are suspended, the bill is passed, and without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.